Guys, welcome back to another episode on our channel. Today we are going to be reviewing Justice League Snyder Cut.
We are. So, I'm the father.
And I'm the son. Let's get into
This
it.
is our review. So, what is the Snyder Cut? I know a lot of people have been asking me, getting a bit confused. So, this is what happened. In 2017, a Justice League movie had come out and the director was Jack Snyders. He'd already done 2 movies in the DC universe, one about Superman called Man of Steel and then Batman vs Superman, and then it was going into the Justice League. They'd done all of the filming or most of the filming, and right at the end there was a family tragedy. Unfortunately, his daughter died, and so he pulled out, and another director, Josh Whedon, came in and made massive changes. The studio said do it less than 2 hours. And they famously, lots of changes happened, and the movie came out. It was successful, but a lot of the fans went,
they were disappointed.
That's not what we actually wanted. They could see that it wasn't really
Snyder film.
Snyder film. So there was this trending hashtag called Release the Snyder Cut, because he'd filmed most of it. And so the actors, even Jack Snyders, everybody was coming out, release the Snyder Cut, release the Snyder Cut. So he got permission to go back 4 years later, and he made this into a 4-hour movie. Now, if you want to watch it and you're in Australia, it came out on HBO around the world, but in Australia we don't have HBO, so it's come out on 2 programs. It's come out on Binge or Foxtel. So if you need to have one of those 2 to watch this, it's not at cinemas, so you can watch it. It came out a couple of weeks ago. And Binge at the moment are doing a couple of weeks that you can sign up and you don't have to pay for the first couple of weeks. So you can sign up
go watch it.
and go and watch it. So it's something free that you can just watch at home.
Make sure to have some snacks.
It is 4 hours long. Now we're going to go through a few things. We're not going to go in huge spoilers, but there is going to be some spoilers along the way. So if you want to go and watch a 4-hour movie, go and watch it and come back. But there is going to be some spoilers. So
the way we're going to do our reviews, our movie reviews, is we're going to say our favourite character, our favourite scene, and for this Snyder Cut, we're going to say what change we liked the most.
Yep. All right. So we're going on to our character. Now there's 6 main characters in the movie.
Yes.
Who is your favourite one?
Flash.
That was a bit of a giveaway.
I really like Flash as a character. He's like this nerdy scientist with superpowers. But in this movie, he was what like a fan would be like in the movie. Like, he was just wowing at everything. He was like, when they went down into the Batcave, he was like, wow, this is awesome. And like everyone else was like doing this like silence, and he was just like saying, oh, this is so cool. He's just like such a cool character. It's just like he's like kind of like a fan, which is pretty cool.
And there was so much more on him.
And Iris West, which in the comics and in the Flash TV show is his wife and his girlfriend.
So my favourite character was Cyborg. Cyborg wasn't my favourite in the original, but for this one, I think he was the heart and soul of the movie. They did so much character development. You could really understand he changed a lot throughout the movie. Like, he had a great character arc, and how he saw himself. At first, he saw himself as a human, and then he saw himself as a cyborg at the end. The character development is great. How they actually filmed it and everything was really brilliant. So, originally there was going to be a Cyborg movie after the original Justice League, but because it didn't go that well, they scrapped it.
So hopefully
I'm hoping that they bring out a Cyborg movie because he's got so much there. So that was my favourite character. All right.
So scenes. My favourite scene was when Batman's in the Batmobile. He's racing through that town, and all the parademons, they're just chasing him, and then out of nowhere, all the rest of the Justice League comes, and they have this awesome scene while Batman's driving, goes through a building, and it's just like, and they have the My Man scene with Aquaman and Cyborg, which is pretty cool. I just love that scene. It's such a cool scene.
It is. So that's near the end of the movie. In the last hour of it, pretty good. When I was thinking about this, I was thinking there was so many great scenes. But I have to say, mine is Batman 2. Right at the end, there's this army of parademons that they have to fight, and there's this one scene that Batman's just He's just fighting them, he's shooting them, he's using his
big
grappling
cannons.
hook, his cannons. He's just going around, and it's really good with all these other guys with superpowers. It actually shows you why he's pretty cool, and they do a really, really good scene with him in that. All right, so there's been look. A 2-hour movie turned into a 4-hour movie, and they probably cut out about 40 minutes of that 2-hour movie. There's so many changes.
Okay, so we're gonna do two changes each. My first one and my major one is Steppenwolf. He looks so much cooler now, and he also has so much character development. He wanted to prove himself to Darkseid because he'd done something wrong and like kind of betrayed them, and he had to destroy like 50,000 worlds to get back. To let Darkseid have a chance to consider him being like back part of the family, and I really liked his character development, and he looked so cool. Like his look. Yeah, it was amazing.
When I was actually watching it, I was thinking, it hasn't changed too much. And then when I watched a few scenes of the old one, I'm like, this is so much better. And there's this one part where he's got these arrows in his armor, and he just kind of flexes, and all the arrows fly out.
So
like
cool.
It's really good. Like the armor actually moves, and they did a really good job.
Yeah. So my second change is Martian Manhunter's in it. If you don't know who Martian Manhunter is, he's a big character in the comics, and he's actually in the Justice League. He's a Martian, which means his powers are he can shapeshift, so he can turn into anyone. He can go through walls. He can fly. He's pretty strong. Like he's kind of like a Superman, but different. Like not as strong as Superman though.
No.
He was actually one of the. Was he a general?
He's the general.
That was in Batman and Superman, which is
he is. So that's pretty cool. My two favorite changes is love seeing Darkseid. So he is like the Thanos of the DC.
They bring him in pretty early.
and it was great to see him. There was amazing setup at the end, and will we ever see that? But it was great to see. There was a few clips of him in there. Not heaps, but it was a really good teaser. It was great to see Darkseid. My second change is, like I mentioned before, Cyborg. So much more character development. We actually know who Cyborg is. The first time we didn't. But it was just so much more character development for Cyborg, Flash. Even Wonder Woman got more. Aquaman got heaps more. Batman, like... You understood so much more around there, so the character development for everybody, and in the original movie there were some things that were like, how did that work? We know how it all works now, and how things actually fit together, and it was really, really good. So, they were our changes. Now, I want to ask you a question. 4 hours? Too long? Just right?
I reckon it's just right. I reckon if it went any longer, it would have been too long. But I reckon it was a good amount of time for the amount of content Jack Snyders wanted to give us.
Yep.
It wasn't all squashed in there though, which was good. Yeah. It wasn't like we were like there was something big happening, then something big, then something big. They kind of like spread it out, which I liked.
Yep. And look, Avengers Endgame, 3 hours. This is 4. I think they probably could have squished this down to 3.5, and you still would have got it. But if you're sitting at home.
Infinity and Avengers Endgame were kind of like part 1 and part 2 there.
Yeah, if you put those two together, it's a 5-hour movie, so or 5.5. So so is it worth the watch?
Yes, I would say it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I absolutely think this is worth the watch. I would put this up there with Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, or even maybe a bit higher for me. But how we actually rate things is we're going to do our Aussie hats. It's out of 5. So each of us get 5 Aussie hats to put out. So Seb, how many Aussie hats would you put for this?
I'm going to put 4 up,
Well, I will put 4 up as well. So we're both at 4 Aussie hats, so they're down below. And so you can see we really enjoyed it. There were some things that I thought maybe they didn't need to include that, but overall, really good. Now, there's something that's actually hashtagging. So, Release the Snyder Cut, as I explained, actually got this out. But Zack Snyder had this idea for a universe. And so
I hope this happens.
Now,
I hope it happens.
Everybody's going, release the Snyderverse. So basically, get him in to do more films, because there was so many, there was dream sequences and everything in this and Darkseid that flow on. We want to see more. So release the Snyderverse is going on, and that's a big hashtag at the moment. Now, last thing I want to ask you is in 2016, the third, I think it was the third DC or the fourth DC movie that came out was a movie called Suicide Squad. And that movie came out and didn't really go that well, and a lot of people have critics of it, and that's why there's a new Suicide Squad kind of coming out and revamping it. But the director, David Ayer, has actually come out since the Snyder Cut and said the studio stopped him from doing lots of things. His movie would have been so different, and he would actually like the freedom that Zack Snyder had to redo it 5 years later.
Yeah.
Would you like someone to do this?
I would, because I really liked all the characters in that movie. Like the bad guy and stuff, all that wasn't great, but all the characters were amazing. So I actually like it because of the characters.
Yes.
Like it would probably be really up there if they'd actually had a good bad guy for me.
Yeah. Which hopefully they will for this one coming out.
So I really want. I think that'd be amazing if they did it.
So it's going to be interesting how much fans can actually push studios to let the directors actually do what they want. It would be great. Look, I'm all for it. More content, more stuff to watch. Why should we stop this?
I think it's
they want to
good
bring more
that
stuff
the
out?
fans are actually getting a role in actually pushing movies, because like fans are the ones that they make it for. The fans, it's good that the fans are getting a little bit of a role in it.
Absolutely.
Choosing what they want.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, that was our review. I'm the father.
And I'm the son. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.